These are a series of interviews I did with some IS friends of mine. Some of them are friends. Guess which ones? No. Yeah, basically, I was a bit stagnant, not really knowing where to go in my practice. I couldn't get from point A to point B. I didn't really know what I was doing. So started asking myself questions a lot, getting in my own head a bit. And that really interested me. I liked trying to talk it out basically. I liked being able to ask questions of myself. So I thought I'd just do that with everyone else. These are basically just me asking questions to my friends. Very random, very fun, spontaneous. I've not prepared anything, clearly. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully this is good. If they're not good, I'm probably not going to see the live day. So if yours didn't make it, it was trash. Right, can I get your name, age, and where you're from?
Hi, I'm Sally Barton. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Sheffield.
Sally, what do you do?
I'm a second year fine art student at Chelsea College of Arts.
How you finding it?
Yeah, it's good. I feel like it's a constant battle of like, why am I doing this? Is it semi-pointless?
Ooh.
And then like, no, this is really fun. The work's really good. I'm getting somewhere, and then hitting a wall again.
What's that wall?
I feel like it's just a wall where you're just a bit like, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit existential. You're just a bit like, oh, there's so much art. There's been so much made. Is there any point of making any more? Especially like the environment now. Like you're just like, oh, why am I just producing more like shit in the world?
Fair.
It's been depressing. Look at that.
More upbeat things.
But other than that, but then you get on a really good path where you're like, oh no, I'm like cracking on. But it's just like so hard to maintain. Like you get so burnt out.
Are you enjoying making artwork?
Yeah, when I'm in the flow of it, I'm really enjoying it. But I think like our course keeps being, it's like stop and start. Like you're kind of in the flow and then you've got to put an off-site show on and you kind of freeze for a bit and then you're like, and then you've got to find your rhythm again. That's the hard bit.
Would you say rhythm is important?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know if that's just for my practice, like if I haven't got like a rhythm, I'm just kind of floating about. I need to just be like consistently like producing. Even if like that producing's changed over the years, like obviously in New Foundation producing was like a lot more like I have made artwork. While now it's kind of a bit like I have had this conversation. It's a bit more abstract. More.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, very good answer. That's definitely going to be. What work are you making with it?
So I'm kind of doing these performance type photography narratives. If that's a genre. Make it up. It's all like around football as a way to kind of examine like class and regions and nationality. But it's all kind of, at the moment it's been like photography of me like decorating cakes. I need to kind of transfer this into a video or performance, but I haven't decided yet. I think I'll work towards a second year share and see what like I produce.
Okay. Why class? Why? Is it because you're northern?
Yeah, I feel like it's just the classic like northern kids goes to art school in London and then it's like, what? People are richer than rich people in Sheffield? Like, that's crazy. There's like wealth and equality in our country. Yeah, I feel like it's I just always found it interesting. But I feel like when I was studying back in Sheffield, like it was less interesting because you're kind of like within the context of it. So all your teachers were a bit like, I don't know if it just kind of went over everyone's heads because you just kind of like what it was, like where you live. But it's like a bit more interesting now I'm like outside of that context of the north.
Do you prefer... Why did you move to London to do art? There's loads of plenty of art schools up north. Why London?
I feel like it's like a don't beat, if you can't beat them, join them sort of situation where you're a bit like, you know that all like the best reputations of art schools is in London, you know like the art world's in London, you know that's where the money and opportunities are, and like I kind of wish it wasn't. I wish it was in Sheffield, but it's not. So like
it's not.
I wanted to move. Also I just wanted to experience the city. Like I've always loved London, so I just was like, why not? Like it's kind of, if I can never afford it, this is the only time I can afford it. It's like alone and like your parents support you still, so
very
yeah.
I might take full advantage of that and move to New York to do a master's.
Exactly.
And, hopefully my stepdad will like. But yeah.
We will have like chat.
Cut that. Definitely good that now. I see you've been doing work with one of your friends, is it Millie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What have you been doing with that?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I just, me and my best friend Millie, who I met at UAL Ballet Society, we just kind of came together and we just have a very similar like appreciation of aesthetic of like nice 35mm warm film and like a nice bit of 120 medium format, and that's kind of like nothing to do with my Chelsea work. Like I don't really see that as like my practice at all. I just kind of see that as like a creative outlet, and like to be honest, utilising like UAL just stuff while we're here, getting the most out of it, like dark rooms and cameras. So yeah, me and Millie just have a little feminist project of it's quite like fashion photography based. It's quite, it's not that deep. It's nice.
Do you think I always need to, like, obviously can't tell you now, but actually more interesting. What artwork do you prefer? Stuff that's very surface level, or like, I need to figure it out, I need to like dive deep into this?
I can't tell.
Which one's more satisfying for you?
I don't know. I think because like I'm so interested in like class, I think there's issues around like class in all of that, because I find like if I'm like in a career and it's just some overly like someone's made some work that's so overly like it's about this, I'm just like, oh shut up, like I find it quite boring. But then like if I just go in and someone's just like made some like good work that's like, I don't know, even based around just like humour or something, I'm just like, yeah, like that's just like actually entertaining me. But I think it's supposed to see what you see in like art for, like you've seen it as like an entertainment form or like communication, or I suppose like how you see it. I don't know.
How do you see it?
I feel like day to day, it's the wrong answer, but I do see it as a form of entertainment. Like if I go to a gallery on the weekend, but you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Some people are so like, I feel like in our year group, like some people talk about art, and I'm just like, but I don't want to talk about it like that. I just want to go to a gallery and like see some work that I'm just like, no, yeah, like, that's interesting. Like it's entertained me. Like I've got some out of it, but I'm not going out with a headache because I didn't get it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you want your work to be? Is that what you want your work to be? Like.
I feel like I just want it to be like accessible. I think it's probably like that's a big issue at the moment, like accessibility in the arts. But I suppose mine's a bit like weird, and people kind of go, I don't get it, but I still want it to just be like, oh, it's a girl eating a football cake of like Sheffield Wednesday or like Arsenal or something. Like everyone can kind of take something from it, even if it's like, I still want it to have like, I think the use of like cultural references is always shouting it.
Okay, so I feel like you want to be relevant. Not relevant, maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how important is that to you, that you're relevant and like sort of down with the kids? Not down with the kids, but like are still like commenting on today. So like how important is that, or does it not matter? Do what you want.
It probably like matters to a point, but maybe like while I'm young, I'm not thinking about that, and maybe I'll think about that when I'm older, when I am less like relevant and down with the kids. You know? Like I feel like I'm gonna be like, oh, that did matter, but I didn't like think about it then. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh God, I literally have no future plans. I just don't know. Literally not. I have no clue. Like literally nothing comes to mind.
Maybe 5 years is a bit too span. 2 years, because that's
2 years. That'll be like the year after graduation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my biggest one is like, will I be able to afford to stay in London, or will I inevitably have to go back home to Sheffield? I think that's like the biggest, like, you know, after graduation question. I'm trying to like not be like, that would be the worst thing in the world to go back to Sheffield, because like nothing's forever. So I'm trying to just be like at peace with either outcome, because realistically it's expensive here. But I'm trying to like think about, you know, there's Leeds, there's Manchester, there's so much popping off up north, like, you know, don't always have to be here.
But would you prefer to be here?
I don't know. I don't know if like, I do love London, but like I do get sick of it. It is a bit like, it's a bit much. It's a bit up itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other day I was just sat in my room thinking, why wouldn't they be quiet? Like,
Literally.
why couldn't it just be just a bit more quiet around here?
Yeah.
And just be more relaxed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just sick of this noise.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just sick of the noise. Like, you just never have any quiet.
Yeah, it's a bit.
And so when I go back to Sheffield, I'm just like, oh my God, this is what, like, people are just like walking slower. Not as loud, like, do you know what I mean? There's not a trillion sirens all the time. Like, I'm just like, this is the life. So.
You sound so old.
Yeah, I'm literally so old. And the
So
water
old.
tastes nice. And the air's clean.
It's so nice. People say hi on the streets.
Yeah, people are nice.